Wood for Morningside meeting. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm also part of the Prisons Committee and have been part of the Prisons Committee off and on since the mid-'80s. The Prisons Committee has a number of roles. We oversee and give care to the worship groups within the yearly meeting. The number of worship groups has fluctuated. We have, at the moment, 8, with the possibility of 2 more in formation. In addition, we try to help people become aware of some of the issues in the criminal justice system, especially in New York State, but particularly on issues like solitary confinement, which have very broad effects in the prison systems across the United States. We also support organizations that carry out work in prisons or carry out work for people once they're released. And we ourselves really try to support the men, because the prison worship groups are all men's worship groups, because we can't just go into a women's prison and offer a worship group. The women have to request it, and that has not happened as yet, but we would be very open to it if it happened. My involvement in the work of the Prisons Committee is, first of all, my meeting, Morningside, oversees a prison worship group at the Woodburn Correctional Facility. And members of the meeting have been going up for almost 10 years to that worship group. So that has certainly given us a broader understanding of what the issues are within the corrections system, which we try to bring back to our meeting, but also to the quarter and to the yearly meeting. I think that people sometimes see the volunteers who go into prison as they are offering something to the men, which we are. But I don't think that there's an understanding that it's a mutual process, that in fact brings people who are volunteers a great deal of joy, as well as sadness and grief at times. So I often think we have a ministry of relationship as well as a ministry of worship, and a ministry where we discuss issues that are important to the people inside. But we do try to give them some sense that they have a choice about what we discuss or how we go about doing things, insofar as we're working within the framework of the Department of Corrections, which is not always easy. So my own interest in prison started in the very early 80s. I was given a course as a new teacher at Friends Seminary called Contemporary Problems. And I said, well, Quakers are active in the prisons. This was shortly after the Alternatives to Violence program was begun at the request of the men from Greenhaven. So I'll spend part of this course focusing on the issue of prisons. And that's when I began to learn. And frankly, I was so appalled by what I was learning. Because as a teacher, what I was seeing and reading was a corrections department and a system that was doing everything that I thought was wrong as a teacher in terms of helping people change their behavior. And then Mary Cadbury suggested that I come in to the Greenhaven prison to visit, and I have to say at that point I was hooked. One of the things that I've discovered when I've gone into prison is how many wasted minds there are. There are people who have changed fundamentally, who have a lot to offer, and I know people when they've come out who've done a lot, and so part of what I care about personally is working to see that we change the way things operate, get people released when they're ready to be released as opposed to ongoing punishment. That we need to change the punishment paradigm to one that's really one of rehabilitation. And we also need to remember that there are people who are innocent in prison. And that is something that we've learned more about in the last few years. so that we need to work to allow people to go back to their families and back to their communities when they have really grown and changed in significant ways.